Morning. We'll get started here shortly. Morning, good morning. So we're gonna get started here in just a few minutes, guys. I did the watch list a little bit early today. I was kind of bored, so I just did the watch list, but we'll go over it. Morning, good morning, everyone. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes, guys. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Morning, morning. Yeah, weekend was good. Feeling better, yeah. So we'll get started here in just a few more minutes, guys. Hope everyone's doing great today. Morning, good morning. So I'm gonna give it another minute or two, and then we'll get started. Hope everyone's doing good today. Morning, good morning. All right, guys, I think I'm just going to get started here. So there's one final audio check. Can everyone hear me all right? Just checking. All right, great. So good morning, everyone. Welcome back to live trading. If this is your first time on live trading, welcome. We use the webinars channel in Slack to communicate. We've been doing something new where we start to stream the first 30 minutes of live trading on YouTube for free. This is kind of where you guys get to see me make the plan, talk about the overall markets, and then right before live trading starts at 9:30, I shut it down and reserve that for MIC members. So as you guys know, I was not here on Friday. I've been kind of fighting a little bit of a stomach bug, I guess you would call it, ever since I came back from Mexico. Still not really 100%, but I don't want to just sit in bed and rot all day. I'd rather be working and moving towards my goals and whatever it may be. So this is just a reminder that even if you're not 100%, still show up and still try to get the work done. So I'm going to try to maybe leave a little bit early today, simply because I'm still not 100%. So I want to try to get a little bit more rest, but still try to get some work in. My wife wanted some Pizza Hut yesterday, so unfortunately she fed me Pizza Hut. So that was amazing in the moment, but obviously did not help me feel better. So yeah, that was kind of my weekend. Let's talk about the markets, guys. So let's first talk about where I'm at for the month. So this month has been pretty much a dead month for me, $25,000. And now I know you may be asking, well, how is a $25,000 month, a dead month for you? What are you talking about? That's a significant amount of money. Well, not compared to last month where I made $182,000 and I had, multiple over $20,000 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nearly 4 or 5 days in one day what I made in all month in March. Now, does that mean that I'm an idiot in March? Maybe. But mostly what it means is there was not as many opportunities in March, right? I think if you look all around social media, you'll see that a lot of big time traders lost money in March. It's just a really, really tough month, I would say. Way too many headlines on tariffs, way too many random price action, way too much shit that's kind of, really frustrated. So for me, guys, I'm just kind of chalking it up to a dead month. I like to use stats to make everything sound, a lot easier. I win about 80% of the time. So if there's 12 months in the year, there's obviously going to be 2 months that are kind of shitty, and definitely this one was one of them. So that's just kind of where my mind's at. So if you're kind of struggling in March, don't think it's just you. A lot of big time traders I talk to, multiple 7-figure guys that I speak to, they're all really struggling. So if the 7-figure guys are struggling, guys, I totally understand us smaller guys are also struggling. But the point that I want to make is, we still got to show up to the market every day because we don't know what day is going to provide us with the proper opportunity, right? So that's kind of what my overall thought is on the month, right? We're at the last day of the month. I'm not looking to be a superstar. I'm not looking to be a hero out here. I'm just looking to trade my process and walk away. Let's talk about the overall market. So overall markets are in the gutter, baby. We're in the basura. So a lot of people that I speak to are like, dude, you must be killing it. You are a short buys trader and the market's going down. You must be making $1 bazillion a day. And what I explained to them, and maybe I should remind you guys, is as short buys traders, we actually want the market to go up. Why? It's because if the market goes up, people have more money. When people have more money, they are very loose with how they use their money. So think about this. Have you ever been in a world of abundance, right? So a world of abundance means that maybe you got a bonus from your job, maybe the bills are a little bit low that month and you got extra money. When you got that extra money, you start doing weird shit, dude. You start ordering, steaks that are more expensive. You start ordering wine that's more expensive. But if you're in the market, you start trading random shit, right? You start finding these penny stocks that are going to cure cancer. You start investing in all these weird things. And the reality is, as traders, the stocks that we trade, most of these small cap companies are scams. They are fake. They are fake. They are fake. So what ends up happening is when the overall markets go up, that means that a lot more people are inclined to start gambling. When people are more inclined to start gambling, that makes trading a lot more easy for us. So I tell everyone that tells me, oh, like you must be killing it, you must be crushing it, you must be this, that. I say no. I want the market to be up. I want the market to be exaggerated, because the more exaggerated the market is, the more people gamble, and the more these moves make no sense, right? So for me, I love a raging bull market, even though I'm a short bias trader, because that raging bull market leads to super, super, super ginormous moves in the market. 1 second. So when anyone tells you, oh, you're short, the market's crashing, you must be crushing it. Remember, guys, as short bias traders, yes, we're looking to short these stocks, or we're looking for these stocks to go absolutely bananas off nothing. And then that's why we want to short it. That's why you got the GameStops, the AMCs, and the whatever else it may be. So that's number one. So what does that mean for us? Why did I even mention that? Well, it's no coincidence that March, the market has been going straight down, and a lot of the opportunities have been pretty garbage, right? So that's number one. Number two is we are at a pretty pivotal point, right? If you look at this chart, I mean, we're right at support. I mean, if we break this support, the next support is 540 on the S&P 500, right? Think of this just as like a 1 minute chart. If you see a 1 minute chart that's about to break this key support, the next logical area is the next support line. So why is this important? What does that mean? Well, I posted the watch list a little bit early today. Woke up a little bit early, kind of got bored. So said, why not just post the watch list right now? But if you notice, what I wrote here in the watch list is rather simple. I wrote, the deadline for tariffs is going to be on Wednesday, April 2nd. I think it's going to be a reverse sell the news play, meaning buy the news on Wednesday. So I'm expecting some weakness today and some weakness tomorrow, and then some strength and bottoming on Wednesday on the overall markets. Now, what does that mean? Well, everyone knows that Donald Trump is talking about tariffs. Everyone knows that, actually, give me 1 second. Everyone knows that Trump is talking about tariffs, and everyone knows that the deadline is on the 2nd. So, whenever we have these scenarios, it's called buy the rumor, sell the news. Oftentimes, there's a positive catalyst coming out, and people buy up stocks and buy up stocks and buy up stocks. And then when the news comes out, they end up going down. The best example is DJT. I made $400,000 on DJT on the sell the news setup, right? So that was a really, really great trade. Now, what's the inverse of a sell the news? Well, if everyone is expecting in a normal sell the news to be positive news, positive news, positive news, and the news comes out and then turns into a sell the news, you sell off. In this case, the news is so negative, right? The news is so negative where, we're talking about tariffs, we're talking about this, that, the other thing. So the market's been selling off and selling off and selling off because of that news. So what's going to happen, in my opinion, is Wednesday, after the news comes out, it's going to be a buy the news setup, not a sell the news setup. Because all of this weakness, I think, is already going to be priced in, right? So that's my thought process. My thought process is that the market's going to remain weak today and tomorrow, and then when the time comes on Wednesday, it's going to be a buy the news setup. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Now, for us, that just means that we're going to look for like the weakest names that these stocks have been having, and look to bounce those stocks ideally on Wednesday. So ideally looking for Wednesday to be that day of potential bouncing action on all of these stocks based on that thesis of kind of like a reverse sell the news setup, which would end up being buy the news. So that's for later this week. Coming into today, not really seeing much opportunities, not really seeing much action. I do see PRTG from last week is kind of pushing down, so maybe if we get a bounce there. DOMH kind of moved up today, but not really much meat on the bone, so not really too excited about that. And yeah, guys, I'm kind of already kind of chalking it up. I'm kind of chalking up today to a little bit of a no trade day. So that's kind of where my mind potentially is at. I've kind of already indexed this as a no trade day because nothing's really setting up nice. And I kind of want to preserve my mental capital for Wednesday's potential market bouncing action. But that's kind of where I'm at. So I kind of made the watch list a little bit early, so we'll kind of review it real quick while everyone's here. So like I said, the tariff deadline is going to be Wednesday, April 2nd. I think this is going to be a reverse sell the news play, which means it's going to be buy the news on Wednesday. So I'm expecting some weakness today, tomorrow, and then looking for some strength and bottoming action on Wednesday. Let's talk about PRTG. So PRTG, just looking for a bounce towards 10, 11, and 12 to scale into. DOMH. DOMH is kind of today's main runner, it looked like, but it ended up failing. The problem with DOMH is there's not really much meat on the bone. If it does end up breaking this 520 support, it's only 30, 40 cents of room if you do it perfectly. So not really that interested there unless it kind of extends and whatever it may be. So that's going to be that. CORT, I saw this moving on phase 2 news. I saw a couple of people in chat talking about it. What the hell are you guys talking about this stock? $100 stock on phase 3 news? Hell no. So I just wanted to put this on the watch list to remind you guys not to trade this. This is way above our pay grade. This is way above our niche, so not really interested there. Next one is going to be CTOR. CTOR is kind of like a $1 stock. As you guys know, I'm not really the best at these $1 stocks, but if it does end up bouncing, maybe you could look for a bounce. NWTG, same thing, kind of push down, looking for a bounce towards VWAP and above to short. And then QSG is some China name. As you guys know, the China names are always heavily manipulated, so not really that interested there. But that's kind of what I got for the watch list today. Nothing really too obvious, nothing really too easy. I'm kind of taking it slow and trying to preserve my mental capital for the rest of the week, because I think that probably towards the middle of the week, if not the end of the week, we'll start to see some great action in the markets. But yeah, that's kind of all I got for today. Steven is in the process of switching brokers to Cobra. So Steven's not going to be here today. That actually reminds me of one more thing is I'm going to probably make a more formal announcement towards the end of the week, guys, but we are slowly dwindling our partnership away from Success Trader. Cobra's rates are just way more competitive, and Success Trader is unfortunately unwilling to match the rates of Cobra. Cobra is offering our traders nearly 25% reduction in commissions. And for a guy like me that paid, $250,000 in fees last year, I'm saving, $62,000 just by switching. And if you annualize that, that's $5,000 a month that I'm saving by switching. So we tried to get Success Trader to match the rates of Cobra. As some Success Trader clients know, they are unwilling to match. So we are probably going to dissolve our relationship with them because, as you guys know, you guys come first always. My goal is to use the power of the community to get you guys better rates and better everything. So if you've not already switched your account, I highly recommend switching your account to Cobra. Also, you get 30 days free commission, 30 days free platform, 60 days additional live trading, and you're going to be entered into a giveaway to come to the New York Stock Exchange with me, which is pretty much a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I mean, how cool is that? You get to come to the stock exchange and get a nice steak lunch with me. So really excited. Cobra also opens up international traders. Just reach out to, I think it's Cobra Trading Sales in chat, and they can help you out. But yeah, probably I'm going to make a more formal announcement later this week. There have been, unfortunately, some instances where Success Trader is trying to stop traders from moving their accounts, which is obviously not legal. They cannot do that. It's your money. So I would recommend wiring out the money, sending it to your bank account, and then sending it to Cobra. But I'm going to make a more formal announcement later this week. So James already switched, Steven already switched. So yeah, my goal is to kind of get you guys the best rates. My goal is to kind of get you guys the best of everything. And if we have a broker partner that's doing that for you guys, that's providing better service, I mean, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So we'll make a more formal announcement on that. And yeah, that's kind of what I got. So we got about 12 minutes until the market opens here. Yeah, so it'll take 1 day for the funds to hit your bank account. and then when you send those funds to Cobra, it'll take them the next day to fund it. So I would say maximum 3 days. So today you wire out, tomorrow you wire it in, the next day you get your Cobra account ready. Does Cobra have the same locates? They have the same locates, the exact same locates, sometimes even cheaper, guys, sometimes even cheaper. So before we do business with anyone, I have to audit them and I have to make sure that it's going to be better. So does Cobra have, yeah, Cobra right now, just looking, has 11 locate routes, 11, which is pretty spectacular, you know? So it's all the same thing at the end of the day, but you know, if they're offering our members a better experience, yeah, that's pretty much it. So we got about 10 minutes here until the market opens, because this is normally Steven's time, where Steven kind of takes over. We'll kind of open it up to a Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask questions. I think Cobra has a free, I think it's free 25L route. So that's the route you should be using. Same rebate, same everything. So yeah, we're probably going to be announcing later this week a formal dissolvement of our relationship with Success Trader. No hard feelings, business is business. If they're unable to offer you guys better rates, then we don't need to work with them. Yeah, for international, we still recommend Zimtra if you're international only with a smaller account. Yeah, rebate 25, free 25. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the rebate 25 and free 25 are kind of backups of each other. So if any one of them goes down, the other one will be available. Do you have to use DAS or Cobra, or can you use another platform? I think they have Sterling as well. So if you're a trader that uses Sterling, you can use Sterling. But aside from that, guys, I mean, getting the 30 days of free commission, the 30 days of free platform, 60 days of live trading, and a chance to come to the New York Stock Exchange with me, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. So that's why we work on these deals with the brokers, to make it a no-brainer for you guys. And I mean, you guys are going to be saving a lot of fees. But anyway, so we got about 9 minutes here, guys. So if you guys have any questions for me, let's open it up to a quick Q&A. So I'll answer some of your guys' questions. I'll answer some of the YouTube questions. Is there an elite chat room of the best 7-figure traders where you discuss current market conditions? You mentioned that you talked to some of them in the beginning of the stream. No, there's no chat room, I guess. I just talk to my friends. So I just talk to friends about it. There's no one single chat room. So that's that. NWTG on the watch list is broken, but also has 80% short float and SSR. Would this normally be in a void, or once the stock is broken? So yeah, once the stock is broken, guys, once the stock is broken, that kind of just makes me reaffirm my thesis. So it is definitely a warning sign to see all that, and I would just be sizing down if I see that stuff. But if the stock is broken, the stock is broken. If we're already a Cobra account holder, we can't be entered the New York Stock Exchange to visit with you. Actually, no. I am having them select 5 new clients and 5 existing clients. So every promo that we do, so long as you have your Cobra account open, you will be eligible for the raffle. So all of the winners for the steak dinner were already selected. So check your email if you were selected. I actually have it, so I'll maybe say the list again just one more time in case anyone missed it. So 1 second, let me just find this list. So the winners of the steak dinner, please forgive me for botching your names. Mark Hausberg, Chloe Sue, Peng Tao, Henry David Gross, Rosemary Gian, Samson Desta, Frank Michael Angelo Kamiri, Mohammed Qureshi, Paul Amoruso, Howard Thomas Dickey, Matthew Daniel Boyd. So if your name was called, you won the Cobra steak dinner with me in Texas. You should have gotten an email from Cobra. If I said your name and you did not get an email, just reach out to them to verify. No, I don't really think that day trading is going to be affected by the 24-hour market window. If anything, maybe news catalysts are going to come out around those times. But the main thing that kind of moves a lot of these stocks is the 9:30 a.m. bell. So although there's going to be some action after 9:30, 9:30 is the universal, ringing of the bell for all of these stocks. So I still do believe that 9:30 is going to have the most action, the most volume, the most this, the most that. But I do think that, sure, for some of the overall, like the Amazons, the Nvidias, this, that, sure, it may affect those. But for the small caps that we trade, the way that the small caps works is these algos need volume. The algos need volume because essentially what an algo is doing is it's playing ping pong with another algo. One algo is buying at $1.50, another algo is selling at $1.51, and then one algo is buying $1.51 and they're selling $1.52. The way that these algos make money, guys, is they make like a penny a share. They make like a penny a share a bazillion times a day, right? So a lot of these algos, they might start trading, 24 hours, but for them to make the real money, they're going to need volume, they're going to need liquidity, and the most volume and the most liquidity is always going to happen at the market open at 9:30 a.m. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. But yeah, aside from that, guys, that's pretty much all I got for today. I'm just going to run to the restroom real quick, and then we got about 5 minutes until the market opens here. So. I've already kind of chalked it up to a no trade day today, guys. So, I wouldn't be surprised if nothing really kind of sets up in my favor, nothing really does anything exciting. I'm kind of trying to save my mental capital and save my mindset and save everything for ideally probably some really great action on Wednesday with the reverse buy the news, I guess you would call it now. It's not going to be a sell the news, it's going to be a buy the news. So that's kind of all I got today. So I think Steven should be back joining us tomorrow, so we'll have his segments back again. But aside from that, guys, I'm probably going to be taking it slow, focusing up, and that's about it. So I guess while I'm here, I'll probably end the YouTube live stream now. So, if you're interested in MIC, interested in seeing live trading past the bell, just email us, stevenrh1@myinvestingclub.com. And aside from that, MIC members, we will get to live trading here in the next 2 to 3 minutes if anything sets up. But yeah, let's see how the day goes, and we'll be back at it again on YouTube tomorrow morning. And MIC members, we will get started with live trading here in the next few minutes. So thanks everyone, and let's get started here.